So a while back, whenever I made my videos about like my first video on Chaotic and stuff, a bunch of people asked me what I thought about other card games. And not just other card games, but card games in general. So I figured I'd finally get around to making that video because I've been really thinking about other card games other than just Yu-Gi-Oh! And Chaotic lately. Mostly card games that I really freaking liked and died due to stupid reasons. So, let's get on with this. So first and foremost, I want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Chaotic, just simply to get it out of my way, because I don't think I've ever really given my full opinion, except for maybe on Chaotic with my Whatever Happened in Chaotic video. So Yu-Gi-Oh! I really like this card game, but there are times where I hate Yu-Gi-Oh! So much, especially whenever we get into like Tier 0 formats, and it just makes me want to pull my hair out of my head because I get so frustrated. And for those who know me personally, I have anger issues, and I try to handle it better, but sometimes it gets the best of me, and it's not fun. That being said though, Yu-Gi-Oh! For the most part, I absolutely love this game. It's fun, it's interesting. I love trying to like innovate with older decks and try out new things, and I feel like that because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a ban list rather than set rotations, you're able to be more innovative with the decks and the choices and everything, because a card that released 10 years ago can out of nowhere, that maybe like back then was terrible and trash. Like, look at Infinity's Emptiness. No one cared about that card when it first came out. Like, people threw it away and stuff. But then, what, like 5 years later? Oh my god, it's the best card in the game, you know? Like, that kind of stuff happens all the time. And so, it's one of my favorite reasons for why I like this game. Now, that being said though, the game is going to be going under some big changes soon, which is with links, and I'm still very much hotly divisive, I guess I should say. Like, on one hand, I really love links. I like what they do. I really like playing the new decks that focus on links. But on the other hand, I'm like, crap, I can't play Ignites anymore. You know? Like, it's just really annoying how links... Konami's trying to change the game and make it better, I get that, but at the same time it also feels like that they didn't really think it through fully, because a lot of decks just die with links, and they really could have thought through what all they had to do was get rid of one rule, and that's that, oh hey, you can only control one extract monster unless you play links. If they just got rid of that rule and made links an actual addition to the game rather than a hindrance, it would have been a lot better, but I digress. Anyways, so I really like Yu-Gi-Oh! I really am hopeful for Yu-Gi-Oh!'s future. I don't know what the heck's going to happen with links, how it's going to really affect the game and everything, in terms of like, will people stay, will people go? I am still very much divisive on it, unless like the game... I'm gonna have to really play through link format for at least the first 3 or 4 sets before I'm really fully decided on my thoughts on links and how much it's like affecting Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. Anyways, maybe I'll make a video on that after the first few sets of links. Now then, for Chaotic, I think I've made my expression clear on Chaotic, but for those who haven't seen it, Chaotic is my favorite card game, period, okay? Chaotic was really well designed, the cards are beautiful, the artwork is just awesome, the game is so incredibly unique. I have never seen another card game like it. It's just so incredibly fun, so interesting, and it had a really good like power creep level. It never got too overpowered. There was only really 1 or 2 cards that people really like argued that were like really broken and overpowered and needed to be banned or something, which the game didn't have a ban list or set rotation. Chaotic had neither, and the amount of power creep it had was very minimal. Yes, there was still power creep because you have to have power creep in order to keep the game interesting, but it wasn't like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where, oh hey, a new set comes out, everything after it, everything prior to it is reduced to redundancy. You know, it wasn't like that at all. Now, that being said though, I do feel like that if Chaotic were still alive today and had continued, it would have probably had to get a ban list eventually, or something similar to that. I don't know if they would have, but it would have been interesting. Likewise, my only real big gripe with Chaotic is that you can generally tell who's going to win a match within the first few within the first few battles, and it tends to be incredibly one-sided. That is, however, it comes down to player skill. and like what cards the person has. A very skilled player can play with a relatively crappy deck and do really well. Likewise, a not very skilled player can play with a really good deck and do terribly. But with that being said, though, whenever a very skilled player gets the upper hand, dear Lord, it gets just completely and totally one-sided, and the game gets completely and totally just not fun. And then also, sometimes people can like really just cheese the mechanics and screw over the opponent, and before you know it, you are having no fun and you have no way of getting out of this terrible situation. That's, again, my really only big issues with Chaotic, is just how one-sided it can be from time to time. Now then, for other card games, let's talk about a card game that I really wish succeeded, but Wizard of the Coast is idiot. Okay, and that's Duel Masters / YuGiOh. Okay, so the original Duel Masters died because it just got outcompeted by freaking Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and Pokemon and every other card game. And not only that, but also a lot of people saw Duel Masters and saw it as a rip-off of Yu-Gi-Oh. And to an extent, it kind of sort of was, but really not so much the actual card game was. The card game itself was more of a rip-off of Magic, but the freaking TV show was a straight-up rip-off of Yu-Gi-Oh! Heck, I still remember the original TV show. One of the big lines was, "Who's the dude with the spiky hair? Shobu!" The main character. And they're like, "Hey, no, ignore Yugi, that dude with the spiky hair. No, the true dude with the spiky hair is Shobu." So, with that being said, though, I don't remember much of the original TV show. I actually have the first 3 episodes on VHS, but I have no VHS player anymore, so I can't really watch it anymore, and episodes are obnoxiously hard to find online. But irregardless, I really liked Duel Masters, both the card game and the TV show. Due to me living in the middle of nowhere as a kid, I never got to play it with other people. Same thing for Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. At least as a kid, at least. And then my only real way of playing Duel Masters was actually through a Game Boy game, Duel Masters: The Senpai Legends. And that game is easily one of the best card game video games I've ever played. It's on the Game Boy Advance. If you get the chance to play it, or if you play it on the ROM on the computer or something, I highly recommend it. I'm incredibly tempted to do a Let's Play of it because it's still one of my favorite card game video games to date. And it's literally just Duel Masters, and you're going on an adventure and try to become the best in the world, and it is just so incredibly fun. Now, with that being said, Duel Masters died over here in the West due to just it being outcompeted. Granted, it's still kept alive over in Japan. It's actually one of the big card games over there, and heck, if you go over to Japan, you'll see a lot of people playing Duel Masters. Now, Wizard of the Coast tried to bring it back over here in the West, thanks to a fan petition, and that got really big, and how do I put it? Wizard of the Coast is one of the worst companies I've ever seen at marketing, okay? The only reason Magic is still alive, if Wizard of the Coast in its current state released Magic, completely brand new, right now, Magic would not do well. It would fail miserably, and Wizard of the Coast would fail as a company. The only reason why Magic is still around it's due to its old age and popularity and everything. But however, you never see advertisements for anything involving Wizard of the Coast card games. Heck, you see posters for Magic Gathering. Okay, yeah, that's about it for marketing that I see. You don't see commercials, you don't see any of that. Same goes for freaking YuGiOh, or Duel Masters, but however, they brought it back and rebranded it as YuGiOh. And they just assumed the same thing would happen with freaking Duel Masters as with Magic. Oh, hey, people would buy up YuGiOh and it would become a big thing. And hey, look at that, you don't need to worry about advertising. They actually did kind of sort of try and advertise it with the freaking TV show, which, by the way, the cartoon for the YuGiOh, for YuGiOh's, Duel Masters rebranding, the cartoon for YuGiOh is actually really good. It reminds me a lot of the cartoon for Chaotic, in that the teens go into the other world and get to see the monsters, the living, breathing monsters. Heck, I still remember in episode 1 when they were running away from a monster and Bullshock freaking dragon flies overhead. I was like, oh, my childhood! It was so cool. But aside from the TV show, YgoAmino got zero marketing. Nobody even knew it came out for the most part, except for diehard fans. And then also, they just poorly managed the game. There was no ban list, no set rotation, no nothing. And the game got incredibly overpowered, extremely fast, and people left the card game as fast as they picked it up. Now that being said, though, I tried so incredibly hard to get people at my locals to play it. I actually got a few of my friends to to play it with me. I bought 2 starter decks. Actually, I really liked what they did with this. They would sell 2 starter decks for the price of 1. And you'd also get 3 to 4 packs. It was really cool how they were selling YgoAmino cards. You'd get 2 starter decks, 3 to 4 packs, and heck, the pull rates on the packs are actually really good. I pulled a $40 card out of a starter deck pack. It was awesome. But I managed to get a few people to really like it and to play it, and almost all of them said, hey, if YgoAmino survives, I'll play it. And it didn't survive. Wizard of Coast gave up on it within like 2 or 3 years, and I really feel like that if they had marketed it better, managed it better, actually did a ban list or set rotation or something to curb the power creep, it would have been a great card game. YgoAmino could have been amazing over here, but they just had to go and screw it up, and it's one of the reasons why I really don't trust Wizard of the Coast with anything, even with Magic. But anyways, so now if you really want to play Duel Masters or YgoAmino, you have to get with a friend who also likes it, buy cards online, or play it on trade cards online. I think YgoAmino's online simulator is still being ran. I don't know. I know that like they released the last set on the card simulator, on like the battle simulator, and that was it. They gave like everybody a playset of everything who was playing it online. I never could get it to work on my computer though, so I couldn't get into it, sadly. But anyways, so Duel Masters vs YgoAmino. I absolutely love those card games. I love the design of the creatures and everything. I love the way the game plays, and I really, really wish that Wizard of the Coast would have just done a better job at managing its rebrand. Now then, other than YgoAmino / Duel Masters, I've also played YSwords. I literally bought 1 starter deck, and that was it, and that was the Kill starter deck. And I bought it just because I like Kill. I don't know if you guys can tell, I have all 5 volumes of the limited edition for Kill. And I bought it. I went up to the 3 people at my locals who play YSwords, and they taught me how to play. And I played once, and I was done with it. YSwords, I really feel like that if it wasn't for the gimmick of, oh hey, you can battle with your waifus or your favorite anime and beat up your least favorite anime, you know. So if it wasn't for that gimmick, the card game wouldn't have survived for even as relatively long as it did. I know it's still pretty popular over in Japan, but over here it's just failing miserably. I kind of wish it would have done better, because honestly the card game market could really do with more competitors, you know, like more fouled competitors, other than, oh hey, that's a new card game, it's gonna die in about a month or 2. You know, like that's what most people think, because every time a new card game tries to get started, it doesn't, it's rare that it lasts more than a year, and it sucks. Now then, YSwords, it was an okay game for what I remember of. I don't remember a thing about how to play, but I remember having fun playing it. It was confusing as all hell, but it was pretty cool. I still have that starter deck with some additional cards, because each of these came with, each of those limited editions back there came with a YSwords Kill card, which was pretty cool. Now that being said though, YSwords, I don't know much of what state it's in right now. I know that they like are releasing a Persona 5 starter deck or something over in Japan. I doubt it'll get English release, because honestly, no one plays YSwords anymore. The 3 people who played YSwords at my locals, I don't ever see them anymore. So yeah. Now then, on to the next one. I really freaking liked Force of Will. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Force of Will, what dragged me into Force of Will was the card art. Okay, so if you want to get me into a card game, or any game for that matter, like heck, I started playing Blaze Blue because I liked the art and the music, and what got me into Force of Will was the artwork and the fact that there was a Lovecraft inspired archetype. And I was like, yes. And it wasn't just Lovecraft inspired, it was like the actual Lovecraftian gods and everything. Like Yog-Sothoth, Cthulhu, Nyarlathotep, and Shub-Niggurath, all them. That was just so cool, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do this, and I got the deck and I played it. I really wanted to get fully into Force of Will. The issue was that there was two issues, and they were both like my personal issues. Whenever it was still going around, I was in high school and I had no job, so I had no way of really getting cards. Like, heck, I had a hard time getting Yu-Gi-Oh cards at the time. There was no way I could really balance two card games. I put the money into getting my Cthulhu deck, and that was basically it. I managed to get two other decks, but they weren't really all that great. Still, I really freaking like Force of Will. The card game is so much fun to play. I really freaking love the artwork and everything. And it was considered for a long while to be a really strong contender to be the fourth big card game. You know, instead of the big three, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic, we would have had the big four, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, and Force of Will. But then that one starter that came out that killed it. Okay, so for those who don't know, Force of Will was pretty good about keeping control of power creep until a starter deck came out and introduced a tier 0 deck that was totally focused on doing burn damage before your opponent even got to play. Yeah. So we're talking about a tier 0 burn deck that can kill your opponent on turn 0. How is that fair? When that starter deck came out, everybody just quit. The stores stopped buying cards, people stopped buying cards, no one bought cards, the game started just dropping in sales drastically, and because the game does not have a ban list, but it does have a set rotation, but the next set rotation, it wasn't going to include that thing because it was too new. And people just gave up hope, and they lost faith in the game, and just kind of left it. Now, Force of Will is slowly making a recovery. It's still releasing new sets, and people are slowly getting back into it. They have proven that they are trying to keep control of power creep better, not releasing another tier 0 starter deck. But a lot of people are still holding off on it because they are too scared of the same thing happening again. My locals in particular, no one who works at my locals has any trust in the game. Every time that I try saying anything about Force of Will trying to come back or anything, they're like, Force of Will's not coming back, it's terrible! Do you really want to go through that crap again? And I'm just like, it's slowly coming back. There are still fans of it. It's making its comeback, but granted, a lot of people got burned by Force of Will due to that starter deck, and a lot of people just do not want to give it a second chance. And personally, I'm all for second chances, so I'm going to give it a second chance. Heck, me and my friend play on Force of Will Battle Simulator relatively regularly. Heck, we even did a few videos of it, and it's still a fun card game. And I really feel like that people should give it another chance, but no one's going to listen to me, so I don't know why I'm bothering. Now that being said, though, had Force of Will not released that starter deck, and had there not been a tier 0 burn deck that can kill your opponent on turn 0, I really feel like that Force of Will would actually have become the big fourth. It would have become the fourth big one, and heck, I would probably be half Yu-Gi-Oh, half Force of Will, because I liked Force of Will that much, and I wanted to get into it that much, even though it has set rotation, and I hate set rotation. So yeah, I really like Force of Will. I hope it comes back. And hey, if it does, I'm going to be all in for it. The next one I want to talk about is Cardfight Vanguard. By the way, just for reference, I have not played and I have zero interest in Buddy Fight. I know that Buddy Fight is basically card fight, but with some different mechanics and stuff. I have zero interest in it. I don't want to play it. I don't care. Now, Card Fight, I like with Force of Will. I wanted to try it out because I liked card art. It has a very anime art style, and heck, for those who have seen it, it tends to be very skimpy whenever it comes to the girls. Which, I'm not gonna lie, whenever I was in high school, was a big draw because skimpy girls or girls in skimpy clothing. You know, honestly though, the game actually does have legitimately good game mechanics, and I really wanted to try it out. I couldn't get into it. Again, the same reason for why I couldn't fully get into Force of Will, because I just did not have the money at the time. And I still technically don't, because, get this, okay, so Card Fight's still going pretty good. People still love Card Fight, people still play Card Fight, people still like Card Fight quite a bit. But if you want to play any of the top tier decks, you have to chug out like $600. And I'm not talking about like the big meta decks. I'm talking if you want to play any tier 1 or tier 2 deck, you have to chug out a crap ton of money. I have talked to so many people who love card fight, but their biggest issue is that card fight has this terrible tendency to make decks that are just stupid hard to get, and like it's like every single set, oh hey, you want to build this deck, okay, that's $600 total, about, and that's like for almost every single even half decent rogue deck. Okay, like card fight is that bad with its prices and its pull ratios and everything that if you even want to play a rogue tier 2, tier 3 deck, you're gonna be chugging out hundreds of dollars, and it's stupid, which is one of the reasons why I really don't want to get into it, because as much as I like the card art, it just, no. And just no, thank you. I don't want to be chugging out $600 to play a tier 3 deck that I happen to really like the card art for. It's really, really stupid. That being said, though, people still play it, people still like it. All power to you. If it had an online battle simulator, which it almost had, I would be all for it. Which, actually, by the way, that also leads me into the other reason. Cardfight is run by an absolutely atrocious company. They started up making a online battle simulator for it. Canceled it halfway through, had another company start it up, and then just keeps canceling, and it just got like just so messed up. That's not even worse of it. So you know how like YuGiOh, you'll get like 3 or 4 sets, and those 3 or 4 sets will have support for these 2 to 3, 4 different archetypes, and then like the 2 or 3 anime archetypes that you see like on a regular basis. Okay, that's cool. And then, oh hey, you'll get occasional legacy support every now and then. Or heck, whole sets dedicated to legacy support. Card Fight will give a deck support once a year. Card Fight will give a deck support once every 2 years. Card Fight will give a deck support every single freaking set sometimes. It's very, very obvious as to what deck is the creator's favorites. They will give more support to this one deck almost every single freaking set, and then this other deck will get support once every freaking year. And for people who like that deck, their deck gets power creep within a month or 2. And it's stupid. A friend of mine was telling me about how he really, really likes this one deck. He likes its playstyle and everything, but he can only really play it like for a month a year because, oh hey, it gets support once a year. And it's sometimes not even good support, which I just feel so incredibly bad for him with that. So yeah, that's another big reason why I don't want to get into card fight. Now then, for the last 2, obviously I'm going to be talking about the other big 2 other than YuGiOh. Magic and Pokemon. So, Pokemon, I actually grew up collecting the cards and everything. I still have a crap ton of them, even though I gave most of them to a friend of mine who played Pokemon at the time. I wanted to try and get into Pokemon. I wanted to like the card game. I really did. But there were 2 big issues with the card game that I just could not get past. The first and foremost is there is no interactivity with your opponent. None. Zilch. 0. None. If during your turn you can do whatever you want, your opponent has no responses whatsoever, they can't do anything. During your opponent's turn, you can just doodle on your phone, do whatever you want, and all you gotta do is change the counters on your Pokemon card, because, oh hey, your opponent's doing whatever they want to your Pokemon, and it's you can't do anything. There's no way to stop it. Your opponent can do whatever they want to your freaking cards, and you can't do anything. Likewise, you can do whatever you want to your opponent's cards during your turn. And it's so boring. It drives me insane. It's just like so mind-numbingly boring. And I just got so incredibly bored of the game, I dropped it within a month. Not only that, but also my other big issue is you have to play either like legendaries or EX Pokemon or Mega Evolutions. You have to play those. If you want to do relatively well, even in like fun matches, like whenever I was trying to play and get into it on the online battle simulator and play with my friends and stuff, if you're trying to go and like say like summon a, I don't know, a freaking Charmander and then evolve it into a Charmeleon and eventually a Charizard, no, you won't last that long. You will not last that long, because your opponent will just keep on throwing out legendary after legendary after legendary after EX after EX after EX, and they will just destroy your team. It is so stupid. There is no reason to play an evolution-based deck because your opponent will just destroy you faster than you can evolve your Pokemon. It is so stupid. Now, if Pokemon played a lot more like Chaotic, where, oh hey, you throw a punch, your opponent throws a punch, you throw a punch, and it played more like the card game. I mean, the video game. If it played more like the video game, I'd be all for it, because there'd actually be player interactivity, and it makes sense for why you'd be stupid for your Pokemon to evolve in the middle of a battle. But really, in honesty, I can't get into Pokemon. And the most egregious thing to me, at least, is that it has set rotation. Okay, and that you can't play in previous formats and tournaments. There's no support for previous formats in tournaments. It has set rotation, and that is it. Once that set rolls out, your cards are worthless. Why would you even bother having them? Unless they're like prize cards or something, your cards are worthless. Because you can't play them anymore. They're dust collectors now. And it's just so incredibly stupid. I hate set rotation with a burning passion because it just renders all your cards unplayable and you can't play anymore, and it makes me not want to get invested into it, because by the time I get invested into it, oh hey, I can't play with my cards anymore. The deck that I just put so much time and effort into, I can't play anymore. Now, Force of Will is a bit of a different story because the set rotation is like once every 2 years or something like that, so you get plenty of time to play your deck. And then I believe they were saying that like they were going to like do like legacy tournaments and everything for past formats. I don't know if they're still going to do that, but like as so long as you have set rotation and have ways of letting people still play with their cards in tournaments and stuff for like past formats and everything, I'm all fine for it. But for Pokemon, doesn't do anything like that. It's stupid. I can't get behind it. Now then, Magic, the #1 card game in the world, even though Yu-Gi-Oh has sold more cards. Boy, Magic. Okay, so where do I begin? I like the card art. I kind of sort of like the gameplay, kind of. I really would have to play it more to get into it. But that's about it. I kind of want to try it out. I gotta be honest. Magic, I played it with a friend of mine. He brought over 2 decks, one for him to play, one for me to play, and we'd swap and everything. And it was okay. It was fun. I had fun, and he let me win, which I hated, but still. Some of the absurd crap that my friend has told me about makes me kind of want to play just to see that absurd crap go on. Like my friend, which by the way is Joe. For those who like remember Joe, he showed up. He's been on a channel for a few videos, having like once a year. He's told me about some of the absurd crap that happens in Magic. Like there's a card that's like I can't remember what it's called, but like. It does something called entering the dungeon, and basically what you do is you put a table on top of your table, and then you play under the table. You take half your deck, half your life points, and then you play a second game of Magic in that game. And then if you're the player draws in another copy of Enter the Dungeon, you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again, and then oh hey, look at that! There's 7 tables stacked on top of each other, and you're playing 7 games of Magic at once. And just some of the absurd crap like that my friend has told me about makes me just kind of want to play it just so we can see that absurd crap go on. Not only that, but also I like how the fact that even though it has set rotation, you can play in past formats. They support older formats, and they support other formats that they play with, like auto cards and like other stuff. And all this other stuff. It sounds really cool, I gotta be honest. Heck, I almost bought a starter deck the other day because I wanted to play with my friend and have a deck that's my own, not his. My issue with Magic comes in not with Magic itself, but with the community, okay? Yu-Gi-Oh has a pretty toxic community overall, I would say. Granted though, I've met a ton of great people, okay? Heck, my locals, for the most part, is pretty good, even though a lot of them are like play meta and everything, and so like somebody like me who wants to play non-meta, it tends to get a bit annoying, but even then, a lot of them are good people. Some of them can be a bit dickish sometimes. People know who you are. I gotta be careful what I say, because I know people from my locals watch my videos, but like you know, you have people like that where oh hey, they're good people, but they can be a bit dicks sometimes, and then you got people who are just plain jerks. And in my experience, a lot of the Magic players I have come across have been just flat out jerks to me. And it's all been at my locals and everything. Hey, I remember there was this one guy who yelled at me because I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I remember it was just whenever I first got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was going around up to random people asking them if they had trades. And the guy was like, yeah, I have trades. And he thought I was playing Magic. He looks at my binder, he's like, this is trash, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Why are you playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Play a good game, play Magic. And I'm like, why would I want to play Magic when there's people like you playing? And then I can't tell you how many times I have met people who are Magic players who think that they're just this god among men because they're playing a quote-unquote good card game, and I'm playing a terrible card game, and I am somehow making terrible life choices because I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic. And I can't tell you how many times I've run across that, both online and in real life, and it's so incredibly, it's such an incredible turn off for Magic that I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. And I'm like, why would I want to play Magic when there are so many of these just toxic people? And it seems like every other freaking Magic player I've come across is just a complete and total jerk. Now, that being said, though, I'm not saying that all Magic people are like that. Heck, one of my best friends, he is a Magic player. Heck, that's Joe. He's a really nice guy, okay? And heck, he even admits that a lot of the Magic players are toxic and just not nice people. Now, that being said, though, again, not everybody's like that, but it seems like the overwhelming majority is, and it makes me not want to play it, you know? And again, also the same reason for the others is that I also have money to really spare on multiple card games. I've seen how much money Magic cards can get, and I'm like, no. Just no. Gee, I thought Yu-Gi-Oh! Had expensive cards. Oh no, Magic, much more. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to try Magic, but if I do, it's just literally just gonna be me playing with friends, and I'm never gonna like get heavily invested into it. And that's it. That's all the card games I've played that I can remember off the top of my head. I've played a few like online ones. I haven't touched Hearthstone. I have zero interest in it. I played this one thing called like Infinity Wars. It was a fun card game, but the player base is dead. I'm surprised the servers are even still running. But aside from that, I haven't really played much more other card games. I do really want to try and get some cards for Duel Masters, some cards I haven't had. Oh yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot about this. Freaking Digimon, the card game, okay? So Digimon, I loved Digimon, okay, as a kid. Like, I loved Digimon more than Pokemon as a kid. I was one of those weirdos. But like, I had Digimon World 3, okay? And while I had a few Digimon cards, like actual cards, they were in trash condition, and I still have them actually, it's hilarious. But like, I never had a full deck. Now, Digimon World 3 though, the mini game, one of the mini games in it has an entire, it has the entirety of the Digimon card game up to that point in Digimon World 3, and you can go around and heck, you can just say screw playing actual Digimon. I'm gonna play Digimon the card game in Digimon World 3, and it is so incredibly fun. It's completely luck based, but it is such a fun card game. I've been tempted to buy a starter deck online. I can't tell you how many times. I saw a starter deck with Gallantmon on it, and it was like $12. I'm like, oh my god, that's so tempting. I freaking love the Digimon card game. I never got to play it in real life, but I really want to. Also, I don't know if Bakugan counts as a card game or not, but I liked Bakugan back in like elementary school and up like halfway through middle school. TV show was great. I mean, like, seriously, if you don't even touch the card game itself for Bakugan, watch the TV show. The TV show for Bakugan was freaking amazing. I'm being completely honest. It has twists and turns, and I remember when one particular twist with the first season in regards to the true identity of one of the main antagonists, Masquerade. Oh my god, people were talking about it at recess and everything, because Bakugan was, literally everybody was into Bakugan in 5th grade, I'm not joking. And everyone was like, oh my god, did you hear who the true identity of Masquerade is? I'm like, no way. And the episode hadn't come out in English. The people who knew it watched the Japanese version to like see what's going on ahead of time, and like just spread and ruin the freaking surprise for everybody. I'm not gonna spoil it. Go and watch the freaking first season of Bakugan. The second and third ones are pretty good too. After that, it gets pretty crap. But either way, this video is going on way too long. My battery's about to die. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. See you all later. Peace out and goodbye. Legend for Life. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my 2 Patreons so far. To my 2 wonderful Patreons, Cambrock223 and Night Zone. You guys are incredibly awesome, and it just, I can't express my thanks enough. Thank you guys both, and I hope everybody has a great day. See y'all later. Peace out.